All right, I just finished a mind-blowing conversation with a gentleman by the name of Yat Siu, who is the founder of Animoca Brands. He's based out of Hong Kong, and they invest in gaming companies, and he understands the metaverse unlike anyone I've ever spoken to. They just raised some money at like a $2 billion plus valuation. But beyond all that, he's the first guest I've had on London Real that properly explained what the metaverse is and how gaming relates to life, relates to NFTs, relates to our virtual reality, relates to our future. And we talked in depth about all these concepts for 90 minutes plus. You can go watch that free on LondonReal.tv. And he's really an expert in understanding all of the connotations that this has for humanity, for the open metaverse. Now, we just saw Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook rename his company to Meta because they want to own the metaverse of the future. They want to own your virtual world that's controlled by a company who we know made very, very poor decisions when it came to distributing misinformation that caused a lot of pain to a lot of people. This same company wants to control your virtual world in the future, which is where we're all going to gather to interact with each other, more so than the physical world. Look at what COVID did, right? It put us all online. And when he sees something like that happen, he says, wait a second, this is dangerous to allow any corporate entity or person to control your freedoms. And that's why he believes in the open metaverse, where everything is open, everything can be chosen, which ultimately comes down to personal freedoms. You have the freedom of choice to go where you want to go, to make your choices, to be involved in a system that suits you and your purposes. And whether that metaverse is more capitalistic based or socialistic based, that's a choice you can make. And you have to show up and the community decides, not some CEO, not some company, not some hedge fund. And this is a beautiful concept. And Yat is out there fighting to make sure that this will become open. And he thinks the next few years are crucial in order to kind of grab this real estate and make sure it stays open and open on the blockchain, to where whatever assets we have that we create in these digital worlds, we can own them. That's the biggest thing, to actually own our own information and own our own digital property. And that sounds kind of strange, but he made a great comparison. He says we're living in a world of digital colonialism. We've given away our information for free to the Facebooks and the Googles of this world, wherever you're watching this video, and they sell it back to us because they've convinced us it's worth nothing. And this is one of the greatest cons ever pulled on humanity. And the sooner we wake up to the fact that our information is not only valuable, it's the most important and most valuable thing on the planet. And it's the most invaluable thing you own is your information, your identity, your freedoms. And if you can take that back and establish ownership going forward, that's how we create this new potential world of freedom. And we talked about a lot of things. And we talked about also how people in the Philippines are literally earning a living by gaming. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, Brian, I don't want a world where we all sit at home and play games to make a living in the future. But what is your job when you're at home on Zoom? Isn't that a game? You get online, you interact with the screen, you do certain things that give you good ranking in your company or get you paid more money that's sent to you via a token called dollars or pounds or euros. How is that different than someone in the Philippines playing Axie Infinity and getting sent blockchain tokens that they can exchange for virtual currency? Life is a game. And so if we start to look at how we can give inputs to the world as far as our creativity, our minds, what we can add to this whole equation, we start to realize that that is the future. And he said something interesting. He said, Brian, we're starting to realize that labor is actually fairly worthless. That's not really how you establish value. It's your own brain, it's the decisions, it's everything you do online. And gaming is a direct reflection of that. And you know, London Real for me and DeFi Academy is a bit of a game, right? We've got capital, we've got to get the word out, we've got people that come to be a part of it, we've got guests. Like all of this is a weird kind of game as well. Life is a game. And these gaming folks can teach us a lot about metaverse, blockchain, crypto assets, decentralized finance, NFTs, actually owning those non-fungible tokens that are multi-dimensional that we don't understand right now. This was all explained really well by Yat Siu. And again, he's a really incredible guy. Grew up in Austria, started working at Atari when he was 13 years old. He's lived in America, he's lived all around the world, and he's in Hong Kong now, running this incredible company. and he's trying to change the game. They just got an investment from SoftBank, which is a massive VC fund around the world. And he said, Brian, the fact that they're investing in us in the open metaverse is a great sign, because this is the kind of company that might invest in the closed metaverse, a company like Facebook/Meta. So he said, it's not just the money. He said money is easy to find. It's getting the right money and the right people with that money who hopefully will invest in the future and make sure this stays open. So I hope you enjoyed this video rant. Sometimes I get out of these conversations and my mind's blown. Go watch the full interview, LondonReal.tv. It's there for free. It's pretty mind-blowing. And those of you inside my DeFi Academy know how this relates to everything we're doing inside there. The fact you have a hot wallet and that you're on MetaMask and you own Ethereum and all that stuff. This all relates highly to here. And all of my students that bought NFTs, all of this is very important. So this is required watching for all of my students. I appreciate all of you. We'll see you on the next live call. And I appreciate everybody out there. Whatever you do, get involved somehow in blockchain. Buy a little bit of any kind of crypto asset. Get your first NFT. Get plugged in, because this is the future. All right. Big love. Peace.